Is live at the scene in East LA with what we're learning at this hour. Rick.
Amy, Chris, right now we are less than a mile away from that facility, but the road is closed here on Eastern Avenue leading up to the training facility where this took place early this morning. So you see these sheriff's deputies that are parked here. This is on Mariana Avenue. We're south of that facility where that explosion, we understand, took place. I've been speaking with people who work nearby here on this south end of the facility. Some people said they did hear some sort of explosion this morning. Others said that there was machinery going, or they were in an office building where they weren't able to hear anything. I also spoke with a man who has worked here at the county facilities for 2 decades. He tells me he has heard over the years training and certain exercises going on, and they hear some sort of blasts happening every once in a while. But this time, he says his coworkers heard something drastically different. Obviously, we know something tragic happened here with 3 sheriff's deputies killed in this incident this morning. But I want you to listen to how this man describes what he knows of what happened here.
So they were there and they heard a loud explosion. And next thing you know, yeah, there was just sheriff deputies on site and kind of blocked the area off. Yeah, it's just been a sad day for sure.
Yeah, I mean, to hear 3 sheriff's deputies died in this explosion, that's got to be difficult knowing you work right there.
Yeah, for sure. And then especially for, you know, the families, just, you know, fortunately, yeah, I just got to, you know, cover them with prayers. But it's a sad day.
So certainly you hear the you know, difficulty in what he was saying as a county employee, knowing that 3 sheriff's deputies died here and that their families, the sheriff's department, these other county departments, the entire community is going to feel this loss, certainly. We want to point out, again, road closure here on Eastern Avenue. Just a few minutes ago, we saw a woman coming up here talking to deputies. She was very distraught. They were able to get an escort, a car to come down, pick her up, and take her up there. We're not sure if she's a relative of somebody involved in the incident or somebody else out there, or she works up at the facility. Everyone else we've seen that is an emergency first responder, they are letting those cars go up. So we've seen several cars race up this road, lights and sirens going, some without, but they are certainly working quickly here. And typically, Amy, Chris, we know that reporters, photographers, were allowed to get much closer to the scene, but sometimes when the situation is much more precarious, they keep us further away, which is what we're seeing out here today. Certainly, though, as everyone figures out what happens, the thought is with those sheriff's deputies, their families, and everyone who knew them. Back to you guys.
Absolutely. All right, Rick, thank you. And we want to get over to Mark Liu at the desk. Mark, what are you learning?
Yeah, so Chris and Amy, we have been tracking this here at the desk. When the story broke at 7:30 this morning, it all started with a call for LA County Fire to respond for a report of an explosion at this LA County Sheriff's Training Facility. Upgraded when they learned that at least 1 person had been injured, then 3 people injured, and then the tragic news that all 3 deputies involved here had died. Now, let me take you out to some live pictures from SkyCal. They have been over the scene for most of the morning. You can see members of the LA County Sheriff's Department command staff and their investigating team here at this training facility called the Biscailuz Center Academy training facility for LA County Sheriffs. Now, it all took place in a parking lot here on the right side of your screen. A blast this morning, an explosion either at or very near what is now being described as an LA County Sheriff's bomb squad truck. Now, we have confirmed from an LA County Sheriff's spokesperson that 3 deputies were killed following an explosion at what they're calling an SEB training facility. That's Special Enforcement Bureau. That's LA County Sheriff's version of SWAT. Now, it's unclear if this scene is still safe or unsafe to enter right now, and I'm going to show you some video from SkyCal from just a few moments ago of this was a very emotional moment when LA County Sheriff's deputies embraced as they were arriving on scene, learning that members of their own department had been killed in this blast. Now, federal agents are now on scene as well, lending their support. It's unclear if this is a member of the FBI's bomb disposal team or if it's part of LA County Sheriff's, but they are now the ones who are approaching what is the scene of this explosion. We believe it is on the right side of that large box truck you see there. The logo on the side of that box truck says LA County Sheriff's Bomb Squad, and you can see that very heavily armored member of the bomb disposal team is doing a very careful inspection of that vehicle. We saw him with SkyCal go all the way around it. And I believe that what they are doing is making sure that that scene is safe. Nobody can approach this scene and even approach the bodies of the 3 deputies there that are on the right side of that truck until this scene has been made safe. Now, at the conclusion of his investigation, that member of the bomb squad went back to the command post, which is here on the right side of that LA County firefighter's vehicle, that fire engine, and did a debrief there. And it looks like they still are not ready to approach that scene. Now, we don't want to show you any video of the right side of that bomb disposal truck because the bodies of those deputies are still down there. They are only partially covered. But if you can come out to my map, I can give you a better idea of where this is taking place. This is a map of, you can see here, downtown LA is on the left side. I'm going to zoom in on the training facility. The major landmarks I want you to look at here are the 10 freeway here and the 710. This is in the northern part of East LA. And I'm going to zoom in here and show you what SkyCal was looking at. It's this parking lot that you see right here. And while on this map that truck is not there because this is a satellite image from, months ago, I can tell you that what we saw with SkyCal is that the bomb squad truck was right here, and the bodies of the deputies are here, here, and all the way over here. So clearly the blast was very, very powerful in this direction. We saw an LA County Sheriff's patrol car here with the back window that had been broken out. So it appears that this is where that blast had happened. And unfortunately, the bodies of those deputies apparently were thrown quite a distance, their injuries resulting in their deaths. And the LA Medical Examiner, of course, will be the ones to take those bodies to the coroner's office after that scene has been made clear. But coming back out live here to me, we have not seen deputies approach this scene yet due to the nature and danger associated with that explosion this morning. It is still unclear what caused that blast. That's it here from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Mark, I want to go back to that picture that you just showed of the map right there, the parking lot. Is it common for them to do training exercises like this in the parking lot? Because if you're looking at this image, it looks like there's other vehicles and other civilian cars that are in there as well.
Yeah, so this entire facility is a training facility. I'm going to show you how big this campus is. I mean, this is actually multiple first responders train here. We've got LA County Sheriffs. They have fleet management down here. That's LA County Fire Station number 1. LA County Fire Headquarters is here, and this entire facility here is also LA County Sheriff's training. But what we have seen right here, these tarps we have seen with SkyCal, there are vans here, here, and here that are members of the teams. A hazmat team has a van here. There was a mobile command post that was parked there. And of course, the bomb squad had trucks that were there as well. So this is, and you can see all, even on the satellite image, you can see all of the law enforcement vehicles that are here. They use this facility for lots of different kinds of training. Now, again, it's unclear if the training was taking place at that very location or if they were perhaps moving materials from one place to another when those materials detonated. We just don't know yet, and it's very likely that the bomb squad does not know either, as they are in the very early stages of this investigation.
And Mark, I know initially we heard that there was an injury, and then it was discovered that 3 people have been killed. Have you been hearing about any other injuries besides these 3 fatalities?
No, and one of the things that I want to comment is look at how close LA County fire. There's an LA County fire station essentially right there. They were able to get on scene very, very quickly. So fire paramedics were able to assess the situation very, very fast. But there are no other reports of any injuries. This happened at 7:27 a.m., so it's unclear how many people were in that parking lot at the time that this happened. But the entire facility was immediately evacuated. We saw that with our crew that was on the ground. We had a crew that was over at this location right here. This is Sheriff's Road, and this is Eastern Avenue. And we saw with our crew that multiple people were told to evacuate out this way and this way. Our crew was right there at the scene and saw lots and lots of cars departing in this way. Our breaking news crew approached people in the driver's seat there and said, "Are you evacuated?" And many, many people nodded to him, "Yes, we are being told to leave this facility." Now it appears that evacuation order generally has been lifted, as it appears that some parts of this facility are now safe to be in. But the focal point of this parking lot here, still the bomb squad doing their work there to make sure that it's safe.
Yeah, such a dangerous job for sure. Okay, Mark, we'll let you gather some more information. We want to continue our team coverage on this explosion.
Let's go live now to KCAL News reporter Amanda Starantino, who just arrived on the scene. Amanda, where exactly are you located on the campus there?
So we're exactly where Mark was just talking about. We're at the entrance of the facility here. You can see it right down here. This is Sheriff Road right here. This is Northeastern. So we're on the north side of the facility. And what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of sheriff's cars coming out, but we're also seeing a lot of people coming in, different agencies here. We also just saw the Sheriff Command Mobile Unit come in as well. So a lot of different resources coming in to assist in this. So what we do know, unfortunately, 3 deputies lost their life earlier this morning, as we've been saying, which is just the worst news that we can possibly have from this. We also know that this is an active investigation and people are supposed to stay out of this area. This entrance, as you guys were saying, is right next to the LA County Fire Department. We've already seen fire crews still coming through here as this investigation continues. But if you look right here on Northeastern Road right here, they are allowing different agencies to come through to assist in this ongoing investigation. It's really tricky to get around here, and they do have Northeastern closed on both sides. Like I heard Rick mentioned earlier, a lot of neighborhoods around here, small, windy roads, and that's where all the traffic is being diverted to. So it's tricky to be around here. If you do need to drive through, try to stay out of this area, as Northeastern, one of the main roads through here, is closed. But again, it is an ongoing investigation. This particular area, we are waiting for Sheriff Luna to come to speak to the media with any further details he has. Obviously, this is a lot for the department right now, especially with everything going on. They already have their hands full, and now having this on top of it, just hearts are so heavy. A very tragic loss for the department this morning, but very, very little details. And that's what we're waiting for at this point here. So there will be a press conference shortly. We do not know exactly when, and hopefully we'll get more details then. But again, we're right at the front entrance. We can see agencies coming in to assist in this investigation. We know more are coming, as Mayor Bass has said. So a lot of moving parts here, very little information, and we are working to get more. For now, back to you guys.
All right, Amanda, thank you for that. And we recently got a statement from LA Mayor Karen Bass. It reads, the city of LA is supporting the LA County Sheriff's Department through this horrific incident in Monterey Park. LAFD, ATF, arson investigators, and members of the LAPD bomb squad are assisting at the training facility. The thoughts of all Angelenos are with all of those impacted by this blast.
Yeah, we're also hearing from LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger. She issued the following statement saying, I am heartbroken to hear of the terrible tragedy that has unfolded today at an LA County Sheriff's Department facility. I'm closely tracking the situation as we learn more about what occurred and the condition of those affected. My heart is heavy and my thoughts are with the brave men and women of the Sheriff's Department during this difficult time. We stand with them and their families as they navigate the hours and days ahead. And Amy, just so heartbreaking to hear because these are their colleagues, these are their friends, and the family. Can't even imagine what they're going through.
Yes, and they are still notifying those families. Supervisor Hilda Solis just released this statement. I am deeply saddened by the tragic incident that occurred this morning at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Biscailuz Training Academy in East Los Angeles. My heart goes out to the families, friends, and colleagues of the 3 individuals who lost their lives in what appears to have been a devastating explosion.
Yeah, we're coming on 3 hours since this explosion happened in East LA. Let's go back out to reporter Rick Montanez. He's been speaking to people who live in that area. And, you know, one of the things that I thought was interesting that he said is, you know, people have heard these loud noises in the past, and this one definitely sounded different. And by seeing what happened, it sounds like it was, Rick.
Yeah, certainly, Chris. I talked with an LA County employee who has worked on this campus for the better part of 2 decades, and he says he's heard that training over the years, but certainly this, according to his colleagues who were here, it was much louder, much bigger. They knew it was something more dangerous. We want to show you again where we are. This is Eastern Avenue and Mariana Avenue. We're south of that LA County Sheriff's Department facility, but you see these sheriff's deputies, they are keeping the road closed here. No one other than emergency responders is allowed to go up that street right now, so they're trying to keep people away. Of course, we're waiting for, as Amanda was talking about, a news conference from the Sheriff's Department to figure out what more is going on here, because we're also trying to understand what is happening at that facility. Is there still a danger pertaining to explosives? So still a lot going on. Also worth noting that the businesses around here, some of them said that some of the workers said they did hear a noise this morning. They weren't certain exactly what it was. These companies, they were told that they may have to evacuate at one point. That was about 90 minutes ago. Within the hour, we heard from them that they no longer have to leave. One woman told me that they were considering closing their office for the day just for the sake of their employees, but now they know they can stay here. So things may be a little safer than initially thought, but still, Sheriff's Department keeping us away from the area. We see these deputies talking with some drivers who are trying to get through. A lot of them, again, first responders who may be coming off the clock and responding out here to then get their equipment and be here at the facility to begin their work. So a lot happening out here. They're still keeping us at a distance. We're working to get more information. The good news for the people who work here nearby outside of the closure, they are able to continue with their daily operations here as far as we know at this moment. But certainly the people who work here, who live nearby, we've talked with some people off camera who say they're of course upset and heartbroken over hearing this tragedy of 3 sheriff's deputies killed in that blast this morning. Chris, Amy.
All right, Rick, thank you for that. And the Sheriff's Department has just released a statement. It says this morning, shortly after 7:30 a.m., a critical workplace incident occurred in the 1000 block of Northeastern Avenue in East Los Angeles at the Biscailuz training facility. Tragically, there were 3 department member fatalities. Sheriff's homicide detectives are on scene. The FBI, LA, ATF are assisting LASD. This is still an active scene, and further details will be forthcoming.
Yeah, this investigation is definitely going to take quite some time. Let's go back and talk a little bit about this training facility. And Mark, you know, this is a training facility for LASD. It has their academy, the specialized units like what we're seeing, the bomb squad, the SCB, the Specialized Enforcement Bureau, and, you know, tactic training. Talk a little bit about, you know, what we're experiencing right now and you know, the fact that this occurred 3 hours ago, and this is an active investigation.
Yeah, it is still an active investigation, and I can actually mention a little bit about how this may end up being the federal government's investigation to avoid a conflict of interest. We know now with that statement that the FBI, the ATF are on scene assisting the LA County Sheriff's Department. And that could very well be because they don't want the LA County Sheriff's Department investigating themselves here. They don't want to appear to have a conflict of interest. So the LA County Sheriffs may be just here to keep this scene preserved while the ATF and the FBI do their work on a federal level to investigate what happened here. That way that there is no conflict of interest. We don't have a law enforcement agency investigating themselves. So this very likely may be handed over to a federal agency to investigate. I was just texting back and forth with our reporter Jeff Nguyen about this. He had some insights into this because of how much federal response is here. Now, to your point about this facility, Chris, this is a very large campus for all types of first responders, not just the LA County Sheriff's Department. They certainly are using this particular area of the facility for training. You can see some of the damage that's been done to one of the LA County Sheriff's deputies' vehicles that's there. We're not sure what that backpack is there that SkyCal is zooming in on. It may be something that was left there by the bomb squad. But the blast was pretty far from that LA County Sheriff's patrol vehicle. The window has been blown out. That was a good 50 feet away, I'd say, from what we believe is the focal point of the blast, which is an LA County bomb squad truck that's over there to the left. We don't want to zoom in on it because the bodies of those 3 deputies are still down there. They are only partially covered. But this entire campus has both LA County Sheriff's and LA County Fire headquarters here. The LA County Fire headquarters is on the right side of that campus, on the eastern side. I was just saying the western side. There is also an LA County Fire Station. Fire Station 1 is right down there. As you can see here, this is at the junction of the 10 and the 710 freeways in the north part of East LA. So being that LA County Fire Station 1 was right across the street from this, they were able to get fire paramedics on scene extremely quickly. And it just shows how devastating this blast was, that even though minutes after fire paramedics arrived, those deputies were beyond help and declared dead at the scene. So this is a very large investigation. We initially knew that this campus was evacuated because this blast was heard by people inside those buildings. This was a very large blast. This, what we're looking at here with SkyCal, is LA County Sheriff's Fleet Management Office. There are many, many vehicles down there. Of course, LA County Sheriffs have an enormous number of vehicles in their fleet. That's where they do fleet management, right there. And near the top of your screen, that red roofed building you see right near the SkyCal logo, that's LA County Fire Station 1. You see how close it is to where this explosion happened in that parking lot. But this investigation is going to probably continue all day there, likely into tomorrow. It's unclear if this facility is going to be able to do any training during this time, as federal agencies, including the FBI and the ATF, are going to be down there doing their part as they look at that bomb squad truck and how those 3 deputies lost their lives in that explosion.
We know that this training happens. They use, live firearms. And unfortunately, we've heard of other incidents in the last few years of other training facility incidents. I remember there was a trailer, it seems like maybe 2 years ago or so, where they were doing some firearm training, where there was an incident, maybe a fire, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think a deputy got hurt or died in that one.
That's exactly correct. Your memory is correct, and it actually was not that long ago. It was in October of 2023 in Castaic, where a deputy was doing training at the Castaic station up there in a completely different way. This was a firearms certification training operation. The LA County Sheriffs asked their deputies to do firearms certification, marksmanship certification every so often. And instead of having all of their deputies go to a central facility, they have a mobile firearms certification facility. It's a big rig. The back of the big rig is essentially a shooting range. It's a small shooting range, and in that particular case, that deputy was injured in an explosion and later died. It was a kind of a gunpowder explosion. So that's certainly a deputy that was injured, I guess you could say, in a training exercise. He was training to do marksmanship. Didn't involve the bomb squad in that particular case, but there was also an incident, I believe it was in Irvine, that happened down there. There were 16 members of the Orange County Sheriff's SWAT team that were hospitalized after there was an explosion at a training facility down there as well, and that happened in 2024, I believe, in March of 2024. So we have had incidences like this before, but this certainly never, certainly in recent memory that I can think of, at this particular facility, and not members of the bomb squad or using a bomb disposal truck training. We have not seen that kind of a training accident happen before here.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about this. So we still have a lot of questions about what's going on. We know there's going to be a news conference, but right now we're not sure what time that's going to be. That's TBD. As for what caused this, this is a fluid story, so we're getting information, minute by minute. Mark, you mentioned the parking lot. We got that. But we're not sure if this was caused by moving materials from one place to another or if this was an actual training. Have you got any confirmation on either of those?
Well, LA County Sheriffs is now calling it a critical workplace incident, but a spokesperson verbally told one of our reporters, it was actually Jeff Nguyen, the same reporter that I was texting with before about this, that they were killed following an explosion at a training center, the SEB facility, the Sheriff's Special Enforcement Bureau, which is like the SWAT team. And visually with SkyCal, we can see that the bodies were near that bomb squad truck. I can give you, if the director can come out to my screen again, I can give you again a visual representation of what we could see before. So this is a top-down view of the parking lot that we were dealing with, and we know that that bomb squad truck was right there. That's the focus of the investigation. It had a pair of doors that were open like that, and we saw the bodies of the deputies here, here, and here. So they were quite far from the bomb squad truck itself. I mean, the deputy that's right here is a good maybe 35, 40 feet away from the other 2 deputies, and we saw here that broken out back window of the LA County Sheriff's patrol car. That was also damaged. That's a good 40 feet away. But we didn't see any damage back over in this area, and we didn't see any damage back over in this area. So it's very possible that we're looking at is an explosion that happened in this particular area right here. I'll zoom in and show you a little bit more and what we're dealing with. But it looks like the explosion happened to the passenger side of that bomb squad truck in that direction. The blast was apparently in this way. So it's unclear if the blast came from the side of the bomb squad truck or if they had just removed something from that bomb squad truck. But again, the bodies of those deputies, they were basically here and here and here. So they're going to be looking at that in terms of what happened and how it happened down there. We saw a bomb disposal technician come in this way and do a complete orbit of the truck. He was looking at it. He was looking at the wheel wells and certainly looking in the cab and the doors to make sure that it's safe. And with SkyCal coming back out live to SkyCal, we can see that what appears to be the command post there right by the LA fire engine that's been there on scene. We can see members of the team down there. They're looking at the other vehicles as well, very likely inspecting them for damage. But yeah, this is SkyCal video there now of that parking lot. And you can see how wide and how big this campus is. Basically, the entire area now is under investigation by federal authorities.
And Mark, are you aware, is there an area there where they would dispose of any type of bomb or bomb material? Is there a place where they would take that there on that?
Very
campus?
likely if they do training for bomb technicians and the bomb squad, they very likely have some kind of facility with which to dispose of explosive devices. We don't know exactly where that would be. They have lots of different vehicles. You know, LA County sheriffs have a mobile bomb squad disposal unit where they can go into neighborhoods. You know, very famously in 2021, the LAPD lost their bomb squad truck when they overloaded it with explosives and it detonated in a South LA neighborhood, injuring 17 people and damaging a bunch of homes. That actually took that bomb squad truck out of commission permanently. And the LA County sheriffs at the time, I remember doing a story with them that they said, look, we may have the only mobile bomb squad disposal truck now in LA, and we're going to lend it to LAPD because they just lost theirs in an explosion. So I don't believe that the truck involved here was a mobile bomb squad truck. They look different. They almost look like big cement trucks. They have a giant vault or a safe on the back that you put the explosives in and detonate. This looked more like an equipment truck to me, perhaps something that they would carry bomb squad armor or gear or members of the team in. And that perhaps had an explosive device in it. We're not sure, but whatever it was, it detonated, killing those 3 deputies.
Yeah.
Just awful to hear. All right, Mark, we'll check back in with you. Let's go back out to the scene. We got Amanda Starantino out there right now.
And Amanda, what are you seeing from your vantage point now?
We are right at the entrance on Sheriff and Northeastern here for this training facility, and it's all blocked off to the public. They are allowing media to wait at this entrance right here. What we're seeing, though, is no one coming in unless you are part of this investigation, which we now know includes the FBI and the ATF. As Mark said, you don't want one law enforcement agency investigating itself. So this is going to be investigated now on a federal level. You also have to realize, too, it's not just a law enforcement agency. These are people who have become family as they work together every single day. So obviously it's going to be very heavy to investigate this. If you look over this way, you can see all these media crews here. Obviously a lot of attention on this case for any more information at this time. And we have some sheriff's deputies also blocking off the area to keep everyone safe as these crews are coming in and out that are investigating this incident. But right here is Northeastern, and this is Sheriff Road to head into the facility. But when this kind of tragedy happens, they want to keep everyone out and make sure that the investigation can run as smoothly as possible. So that's why this is happening over here. Again, very, very limited details at this point of how those 3 deputies were killed this morning in some sort of explosion while handling some explosive devices this morning. But we are waiting to get more information from the Sheriff's Department this morning. But again, the entrance to this facility is closed. What we're seeing is coming through as other agencies. We also just a few minutes ago saw a huge trailer come through, and that's the Sheriff Mobile Command Unit as as well. So they're still navigating who's coming in and out here, and we're trying to get more information as much as we can. But a heartbreaking incident here for our law enforcement that's just been through not only so much in this morning, but in the last year, the last couple of years, what's been going on with this department here. So our hearts are with those families that received the extremely tragic news as their loved ones went off to work today. You never want this to happen, but unfortunately, this is sometimes what happens with this job, and our hearts just break for all those families involved.
Certainly is a reminder of the dangerous job and the risk that our law enforcement officers take for us each and every day. Amanda, thank you.
Well, we're going to continue to monitor this as we're waiting to get more information. We're also waiting for that press conference. But in the meantime, let's go to meteorologist Alex Bisson. Alex, you've been pretty busy in the weather department as well.
Hi, Chris and Amy. Yes, we have been, as we've been talking and tracking the monsoon moisture that is pushing into Southern California, making it feel a little bit more humid, the air a little bit more sticky. And of course, earlier today, we were tracking showers across southern Orange County, parts of Riverside County. This is a loop of our satellite radar over the past 3 hours, and you can see that activity moving through. We've got